Hi everyone and welcome back to the London Watch Collector channel. So guys, I'm very excited for this review. It's the first time ever that I do a full video about cars without mentioning a watch. And I'm quite excited and I'm looking forward to the feedback, the comments, what do you guys think? And this video is a very important video for me because to me, the car I'm about to reveal, it's been a childhood dream since I was probably 10 or 12 years of age. And I'm gonna take you through the full story, take you through the full process and share with you exactly what I did to the car since I bought it and the full story. So as a small introduction, the car will be revealing today the famous, the legend, the Dodge Viper. So a bit of history, it was actually launched in 1992 and discontinued in 2017, giving it a 25-year of production. I'll go into why it was discontinued in a bit. But the Gen 1 was from 92 to 95, as you can see there on the top left, and it actually had no AC, no door handles on the outside. You actually need to open the window and open the door from inside. It was a widowmaker. It had so much power, so much torque. 96 to 2002, that's when I fell in love with the Dodge Viper, and I remember being a teenager in my room at my parents' house. I had poster covered on every wall, and to be specific, I loved the GTS, which was a Gen 2, although the RT10, which was special, but to me the GTS always was the one that blew my mind away. And of course, after the GTS came a GTSR, which had a spoiler at the back, and I just kept dreaming and thinking and saying to myself, oh, one day I'll hopefully own it. Long story short, after graduation, after settling in London and living there for more than 10 to 12 years, the dream actually vanished. The reason being, obviously, in Europe or the UK to be specific, having an American car, let alone a muscle car, is quite rare. You don't even have a dealership for American cars. Nowadays, if you want to buy an American car, you have to go through one of these showrooms and order a car through them, etc. So living in the UK made me bury that dream somehow, and I got into watches and I started chasing my holy grails, and luckily and proudly I was able to achieve it. And then when we decided to leave London last year, it all started the moment I landed in the Middle East. Initially, it was just something that I thought of, during bed. But then I realized living in the Middle East, that dream can actually come true. It will definitely be difficult, especially that sourcing these cars nowadays is quite difficult. The Viper was produced from Gen 1 up to Gen 5, as explained earlier, and they were produced in 25 years. And within these 25 years, there is roughly around 31,500 Vipers ever made, and you will never be able to get an 8,400cc or an 8.4 liter naturally aspirated without a turbo, without a supercharge in a production car. So the car that I aimed for was a Gen 5 due to the larger engine, more horsepower, and most importantly, the technology and 5-mode traction control. I specifically was looking for a GTS model. So the GTS was produced from 2013 until 2017, but the first batches of Gen 5 was from 13 to 15. And they came in two models. One was the GTS, which is the premium model, and the second was the SRT, which was, you can say, the number 2. I actually aimed for a GTS, so I wanted a local car. When I say a local car, I wanted it to be a GCC specs, so a Middle East specs, not something imported from the US. And I was able to find an old ad, which was back in December 21, and I was able to find a black, beautiful GTS. And I actually got in touch with the showroom and I told them that I want this car, and they told me that they took it to a neighboring country to sell it for auction. And believe it or not, guys, what I did, I told them I'll pay you a deposit, get me the car, and once I give it the green light, I'll purchase it. So long story short, these are the photos that I saw when I got the car, and I could tell it wasn't in the bestest condition, especially the interior. The paint required some correction, but to me the aim was, as long as the engine and transmission are fine, everything else can be corrected. So the car was a 2014 GTS in Venom Black. The wheels were blacked out. So the moment I drove the car, which was on the 3rd of April 2022, I remember telling the guy, let me go get you the cash and I'm taking this car home and we can finish all the registration and everything else on the following days. So when I took the car, the first thing I did, obviously parked it home, as you can see there. Next morning, I took it down to the Mopar service. I got an oil change and a thorough check just to make sure that everything is matching. Because although I did pay them, I told them in case something shows up, this deal is gone. So I wanted to do my due diligence and get everything in order. So I went, I checked it out, I confirmed there was no any accident on the car. It was thoroughly checked by the dealer. And luckily, I still had a warranty on the car for the powertrain. If you guys don't know, when the recalls were done, they actually gave you 120 months or 10 years of warranty for the full powertrain. So it includes your engine, transmission, I think up to your differential. So once everything was matching, I decided to start working on the car. So we're talking about a project that took me 6 to 8 months, even as of today, being in June 2023. So more than a year and 3 months later, I am still doing some minor add-ons to the car, nothing major. The car is 99% ready. So the first thing I did was I took off the hood to give me the exposure to the engine bay, and I removed the rear bumper because I wanted the full car to go for a flow coating, whereby it is basically resprayed with a clear coat, corrected and paint flattened to remove the orange peel and give it the clarity of a mirror. And I decided to work on it cosmetically while ordering the parts technically or mechanically. And once the car was cosmetically ready, I would send it for the service or for the repairs and then give it another final cosmetic correction and have it hopefully ready. But what I used to do is go to the detailing shop, and I have to give a shout out to the detailing shop. It is called Ultimate Car Care. I'll put all their links in the description below. But as you can see here, what I did is I installed the catch can. I bought the catch can from W.C Engineering. A huge shout out to Doug as well. He has everything related to Vipers, sells quality products. And then what I did, I got the racing wires from the company Moroso. I changed them myself, as you can see there. And then the first thing we did to the car is give it an intensive clean, an intensive wash of the engine bay using a special friendly detergent along with some steam, which gives it a very nice finish. And that was done in more than 3-4 stages, but I don't want to film it and make it a very long video. So just showing you briefly how it is done.
You prepare, huh? You will have queue outside. Wait. Then you'll...
This was around August or end of July when the car came back from the body shop. It got flow coated with premium clear coats and it's off to the shop to get detailed. As you can see, I've removed the rear spoiler because it did not match the car. The span was good, but it was too low. I did not like the way it was done. So what I decided to do is buy a new spoiler, a 74-inch spoiler from APR Performance, the GTC 500. We're talking about more than 185 centimeter in width, spanning like an eagle at the back. You just wait until you see the spoiler on the car. So it's made out of full carbon fiber, a beautiful weave, and very light. I don't want to ruin it just yet, but that's a small little teaser showing you the span and the height. And here you can see the paint flattening started, and of course I could never stop myself from revving the engine every once in a while. It's music to my ears. So the chrome logo on the sides, I decided to black them out and have GTS in red to match the calipers as well as the red deflectors on the side. I've also gone for the aluminum pedals from W.C, having a honeycomb design. I matched it with the honeycomb carbon fiber I'll be showing you in a bit. I've also decided to black out the chrome on the cap as well as some spacers along with longer bolts to compensate for the spacers. I also got a blacked out OEM fuel cap to match the color of the car. Talking about interiors, I got the black charcoal carpets with the red logo matching the interior of the car. So the seats were corrected, they were refinished and areas were repainted and they came back as brand new. The full carpet were stripped, everything was nicely cleaned. By then some spare parts came, so I sent it back to the dealership. A couple of things were changed, so I changed the mountings of the transmission, the mountings of the engine, I changed the flywheel, the clutch, the link rods of the sway bar, even the sway bars I changed it to the ACR sway bars, which instead of being 10 pounds in weight, hollow sway bars, they are around 17 pounds in weight, giving you better cornering and a sturdy feeling. I've also upgraded the brakes. I went for the Posy Quiet brakes, which are less dusty as well as less noisy. Of course, I ordered full brand new discs, all four, along with radiator hoses from a company called HPS. So by then I realized that it's gonna cost me an arm and a leg if I keep fixing the car at the dealership. Just for the stuff I just mentioned, the parts and the labor at the dealership cost me around $10,000. And I said to myself, that's not even 50% of the stuff I wanted to do. I still have a whole list of things that I need to do. So I came up with a plan is why don't I do all this stuff myself? So what I actually did is I bought the service manual that is sold exclusively for the dealers, and you can actually buy them from the US for around $400, and it gives you every little single bolt that requires changing, the step-by-step procedure. I went all in, I started changing everything, starting with the rubber seals of the full car, so passenger, driver and hood, and I went the extra mile of changing the X-brace, comes in aluminium. I upgraded to carbon fiber. I've also got the sills, which are usually in chrome, again carbon fiber. The plastic coil covers on the engine, again plastic, changed them to carbon fiber, and I decided to buy 4 brand new suspension along with all the bolts and nuts. Instead of doing a performance brand, I decided to keep it OEM, so I got myself Mopar suspensions. I decided to upgrade the ball joints because the Mopar ones are quite bad. A company called L.W.C, quite expensive but very well made performance ball joints. I got them pressed in at a local shop, although I did have the tools, but they were used for other stuff as well. So the full knuckle was removed, derusted, cleaned, the ball joint was fitted, new bearings were fitted, a special grease from Redline CV2 was used, suspension in place, the discs in place, everything brand new, sparkly clean. With my height being more than 6'1", the Viper actually has a very low headspace. So I decided to go for the lowering bracket again by Doug Shelby Engineering, and I fitted it myself, giving me roughly 2 inch of extra headspace. The end plates on the spoiler had the APR performance. No offense to the brand, but I don't want a brand at the back of my car, so I put a sticker on and clear coated it and flattened it, trying to give it a mimic of being painted because having the striker painted is quite difficult. Of course, new set of wheels, so I went for the Kumo tires for the rear, Pirelli P0 for the front, and I decided to PPF the V10 8.4 liter on the intake manifold, matching the interior of the car as you can see there. Isn't that just beautiful? The carbon fiber matching and a touch of red just looks absolutely amazing. Finally guys, a service, so I use the Pennzoil 0W40 for the engine oil, which take exactly 10.4 liters, and I used Royal Purple for the transmission as well as the differential. I'm gonna leave you with the last couple of minutes of a nice reveal of the car, beautiful sceneries in Oman, and I hope you enjoyed this review. That's all for this week. Thank you for watching.